Look, we all misinterpret or get very, very angry or say really stupid things when we're really, really mad at a so called presentation. Look, I'll admit, Nintendo showing at E3 was bad, and they didn't put out a release date or a price, which kind of ticked me off because that was utter, utter bullshit. But we've gone into this bizarre world now where we've forgotten simple things, or we've decided to erase certain things from, well, that we heard in certain presentations or in pre shows. And I've heard a lot of the I'm not gonna buy this game because I didn't see any games that I like. All they said was children's games. I want first-person shooters. I want 60 frames per second. PCs are the best gaming rigs of all time. Or Microsoft Xbox. They know the first-person shooter straight up. They're the only console that can do first-person shooters at all ever, and they're the only games that are worth playing. Only games. All other games suck because they are not first person shooters. Yeah, it's called stretching your field out to other types of genres. I mean, yeah, I know that third person shooters are not exactly first person shooters, but sometimes first person shooter fanboys, or how I like to call graphic whores, like to interpret third person shooting games with first person shooting games. So yeah, I'm bashing both of them. But yeah, I got one small message to the graphic whores. Shut the fuck up. You can take your 16 frame per second and I gotta play with all settings on high and shove it up your own ass. And as for the called so-called people out there, it's like the launch games are all bad. Well, let's just remember, PlayStation 3 launch games and Xbox 360 launch games were not exactly that spectacular neither. And if anything, the PS3's launch title was abysmal, and not even there. But yeah, you can compare the two. Mostly, and not only, and mostly out of both of them, they mostly got like PlayStation 2 ports, especially the Xbox 360, which got a crapload of PlayStation 2 ports. And let's not forget that the Xbox was the first console to come out the last generation. So it wound up with a whole bunch of PlayStation 2 ports, or one case, a unfinished GameCube game ports, which was Perfect Dark Zero. It sold miraculously well, even though it was a shitty game. But then again, good taste has not been in the United States' mind for the last couple of years. I mean, we spent. Look at the last two Transformer movies. Utter crap, but people still go out to go see those films. Please stop. And not only that, the Wii U's getting at least the Madden games, which I know a lot of you hate the Madden games, and I hate it too. But the thing you have to understand is that the consoles that were missing the Madden games, like the PlayStation 3, were consoles that usually flopped or became dead last. And of course, since the Madden games were missing from the PlayStation 3 library, it kind of flopped. But it wasn't missing from the Xbox. Of course, let's not forget that PlayStation 3 had a very, very bad start with their games. Yeah, the only really good game they had on there was Resistance, which is now dead because they couldn't really do much with that series. That's not good. And since the Xbox 360 came out so early and was the first console to come out, well, like I said, it mostly had PlayStation 2 ports with just given HD graphics. And what I said about the Madden games is pretty much true. All the real successful current consoles all at least launched with the Madden game. Why?
Most of the ones that fell into mediocre or just outright crashed didn't. The only ones that were exception to the rules was probably the first and second generation, since the first was all Pong ripoffs and the second was like Atari 2600. I don't think they even had Madden games out back then. I don't even think they had Madden games out on the NES. But that's a completely different story. NES or Super NES. I think Madden came out in the Super NES, but I don't know. Now, we don't have a compilative gift of all the launch titles for the Wii U, but I do have. There is a list of all the upcoming games to be announced whenever the Wii U launches. And then there's also this crap about, I mean, both Sony and Microsoft are going to have their shit mobile and all that other crap. First of all, Sony is going to only, their PlayStation network is only going to go to certified Sony phones. So, what will that mean? One or two types of phone, all Android based, completely screwing the iOS people out? Way to go, Sony. Yeah, smart glass is fine. I mean, it's remote desktop. We all know how secure remote desktop is. But everybody's saying that Nintendo's not going to have any kind of thing to do with mobile phones and all that. Well, that's a lot of crap. The Miiverse, Nintendo already announced that the Miiverse will allow connectivity between PCs, mobile devices, the 3DS, as well as the Nintendo Wii U. And by the way, they even said that they were going to try to set their 3DS maybe as an alternate controller for their console. Go figure. Even though it was Nintendo who came up with that idea in the first place with their Game Boy. I forget which version of Game Boy and which one of their consoles, but there was not connectivity between the two. And yes, the Nintendo press conference sucked, especially the end with Nintendo Land. But when people start making up shit about crap they don't understand, it just gets to me. And then there's those complaints about the hardware saying it's not HD enough. Let's not forget that it has an upgraded CPU and GPU that literally came from the Xbox 360. So every time a 360 fanboy saying, my 360 is more powerful than the Wii U, just remember, they're basically the same machine. It's just the Wii U is a little bit more upgraded. So every time you make fun of the Wii U, you're making fun of your own damn console. Of course, I do wish I knew how much RAM it has. Most guests is having most rumors are saying either between 1 or 2 gigs RAM or 750 megabytes, but mostly they're pointing at 1 gig, which is still way more than what the Xbox 360 and PS3 have. But yeah, the press conference sucked, but let's try. If we get angry or mad at them, let's at least try to stay in the line of the truth instead of bullshit. And yes, I know that Call of Duty was basically a PC desktop game, and for some reason the Xbox 360 got it as a launch title. And I'm talking about Call of Duty 2. Between that and Perfect Dark, I don't. Most of the others were all just PS2 ports. And yeah, there may be a few more libraries in the Xbox 360 that may have been original, but I just don't have the time to look it up right now. See ya.